we are going to go over the suspended cymbal. Suspended cymbals are different than these crash cymbals. These crash cymbals you pick up and you crash them together. Suspended cymbals are also different than the kind of cymbal that you would have on a drum set. That is a crash cymbal. A crash cymbal on a drum set is a cymbal that is designed for a kind of sound. This can do that, obviously, but it's not designed to really be a crash sound. It's designed to be like a swooshing kind of sound. This is also different than a ride cymbal. A ride cymbal is designed to be very pingy. While this is sort of pingy, that's not what this is designed for. This is designed for swells, cymbal swells. Now, you can do that with drumsticks, but it's not very soft sounding. It's just very clingy, pingy, noisy when you do it. So you want to use some soft mallets. And these are just some cheap medium mallets. Maybe a little harder than I would normally like. But this is the kind of sound you want out of your suspended cymbal. Now, for whatever reason when I was a kid, someone, and not just one person, a bunch of people advocated starting your cymbal swells here towards the bell. I guess that's okay, but I never really cared. I figured if you start on the edges and you just work it really slow. I think that sounds great. So in music, a cymbal, it'll look like a cymbal roll, just like a roll, like on a drum, but it will usually have a crescendo marking and a big, I guess, slur marking or sustain marking. The idea usually with a suspended cymbal is you want it to swell up to some point and then release and decay on its own. And so you're not going to mess that up. So sometimes you have to choke the suspended cymbal, and here's an example of that. So really all that is you're swelling it up to a point and then choking it, cutting off the sound by using two of your hands. Other options on the cymbal definitely occur, like playing on the bell, or the arch, or on the edge, or the extreme edge, or like zings. And if this had I guess a harder angle on it, you'd be able to hear that better. But just because we're using arm mallets and I'm advocating that, sometimes composers or directors do want you to play with drumsticks, or like I just showed you, other parts of the mallet. Edges. Zings. Going back to the mallets, sometimes you are asked to do a crash sound. Not with a drumstick, but with the mallets themselves. Here's an example of that. And what I did here that I think is important is I didn't hit it with just one mallet, because it takes a little while to fully ring when you do it that way. When you do it with two, it happens quicker. But when you do it with two, and you kind of treat it almost like a flam, you don't get that sort of slapback sound that happens when you have a big vibrating instrument. When the vibrations meet each other, it creates kind of a slapback. You notice it a lot on drum heads. Sometimes you can notice it on cymbals or gongs. But so by separating your hands a little bit, you can get the whole thing to ring like crazy very quickly without that slapback sound. So that's the suspended cymbal for you.